next to each other. Oh, that projects. Good afternoon. Do I talk? I'm Peggy Clarke, and I welcome you on behalf of our ministry team, our staff, and all our lay leaders. It is good to be together, both in person and online, for this multi-generational service.
Good afternoon. I'm Paolo Gentile, and I am very grateful to be here today. Community Church is a multicultural, multiracial, and multi-generational congregation with a vision and commitment to build a world grounded in equity and inclusion. Here with me this morning is our Director of Music, Jerry Brown, our talented choir, Brother Zachary Stevens Walter, our chaplain for pastoral care, and Reverend Peggy Clarke, our Senior Minister. Darnell White, our musician in residence, is on a national tour and will return to us next week.
Children are always welcome during worship. Feel free to move around the space or to move back and forth to join programming happening in the loft. The sound of babies crying and children fidgeting is a beautiful part of being in community.
Masks are optional. Please be respectful of each other's decisions and need for personal space.
Today is our annual Thanksgiving service. Please rise in body or spirit, and let's sing together our opening hymn, We Gathered Together. Where is it?
Is it on there?
Thank God.
Good afternoon. Thank you to our welcomers, Zachary and Paolo. It's good to have you here. This is a traditionally multi-generational service. We have turned over parts of the service to children, to people under, or near the age 18. It is a joy to have all of you here. I have to say, I was thinking how exciting it is. When I first came, my very first service here, so just over 3 years ago, there was one child in our program. So let's all acknowledge Jill, who has grown that program exponentially. Thank you. I also want to make note before I begin that some of you have said, why can't I stand at the mic and talk? So I'm just saying, you asked for it. Get ready. Let's begin. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, this day of celebration, of welcoming, of thanksgiving. We give thanks for the many people in this room. We give thanks for the many cultures, races, genders, abilities, and generations in this room. We give thanks for the many religious paths, spiritual truths, ways of knowing in this room. We have so much, so much for which we give thanks on this precious day. We are going to light our chalice. Please rise in body or spirit.
Rise up, O flame, let thy light glowing show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame.
we light this candle, the flame of our heritage. May it ignite hope in our lives, in our community, and in the world. Please join me in sharing our unison affirmation. Unto the Church Universal, which is the depository of all ancient wisdom and the school of all modern thought, which recognizes in all prophets a harmony, in all scriptures a unity, and through all dispensations a continuity, which abjures all that separates and divides and always magnifies humanity and peace, which seeks truth in freedom, justice in love, and individual discipline in social duty, and which shall make of all persons one beloved community. Unto this church and unto all its members, known and unknown throughout the world, we pledge the allegiance of our hands and hearts. Thank you. Please join me in our land acknowledgement printed in your bulletin. We are gathered on the unceded land of the Lenape peoples. We acknowledge the Lenape community, their elders, both past and present, as well as future generations. This acknowledgement demonstrates a commitment to beginning the process of working to dismantle the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism. Now is an opportunity to greet our neighbors. Please be COVID respectful.
Now I'm gonna hit this little chime. A chime is a really good way to get centered and to just listen to the sound. So I'm gonna ask everyone to listen, and when you can't hear it anymore, raise your hand, okay? Here we go. For our pastoral prayer today, we're going to have a response. I'm going to say something, and then you're going to say something back. And you're going to say, "We give thanks." Want to try it once? Okay. We give thanks. Okay. I'll make a motion so you know when it's time, okay? For the gift of being alive, of breathing and thinking and being. For our families, whole, healing, or struggling. For our fellowship and mutual companionship. For liberal religion everywhere. For the use of reason and the ability to determine things for ourselves. for the use of imagination and the ability to create outside of what reason tells us is possible. For the bounty of earth, a great planet abundant with life. For our hands and the gift of serving those in need. We give thanks on this precious day, the day we put aside to remember the many gifts we've been given. For all of that and for all of you, at the top of your lungs, we give thanks. We will sing together now number 311 in your gray hymnal.
Good morning. Happy Gratitude Sunday. I would like to read you a story that was inspired by another story called Saturday at the Food Pantry by Diane O'Neill. And if you get the book, it's illustrated by Brazita Magro, and it's a really wonderful story. So this is an adapted version inspired by that one. Molly sat at the table doing homework while her mom heated up leftovers for dinner. Animal life cycles, crops and climate, migration. Third grade homework was complicated sometimes. Mama, what was that word again? The one I learned in church last week? You mean interdependence? Yes, I forgot what it meant, she said. Before her mother could explain, Molly looked up. Chili again? They'd had it every day this week, and last week too. Yup, Mom said. Tastes even better this time. The spices have all sunk in. She ladled the last of the chili into their bowls. We have fancy milk too, she said, as she poured milk into the sugar and spices in Molly's cup. Molly loved the way one whiff of her mom's sweet, fancy milk could make all the complicated homework thoughts disappear. Mom shook the milk carton. Just a tiny splash left, she thought, as she put it back in the fridge. Tomorrow we'll get food, she said. We're going shopping? Molly's eyes lit up. Chicken, spaghetti, ice cream. Well, sort of, her mom said. We're going to a food pantry. What's a food pantry? It's a place for people who need food. Everyone needs help sometimes. At bedtime, Mom usually made Molly another cup of fancy milk and read her a story. Tonight, it would be only a story. Molly tossed and turned, trying to sleep. Her stomach was growling. She was still hungry. The next morning, they walked to the food pantry. Why do we have to wait online? Asked Molly. The pantry isn't open yet. They're only open certain hours. There were all kinds of people online. There were older people and younger people, and Molly even saw two of her neighbors who use wheelchairs waiting online with their assistants. Molly sat on the ground, took out her crayons and some paper, and began drawing. She then looked up. Look, Mom, there's Caitlin. She's in my class. Hey, Caitlin. Caitlin looked away. Molly ran over to her. Didn't you hear me? Caitlin looked down. I don't want anyone to know my grandma and me need help, she answered. Oh, said Molly. She walked back to her place in line, sat down, and continued drawing. She was drawing a picture of a forest with all the living things she'd learned about from her science teacher. She made sure to draw all the things each animal needed in their habitat to live. In Sunday school, she remembered learning that every living being is connected and that we all need each other. Interdependence, that was it. Every living thing depends on every other living thing. Then she remembered not having enough to eat the night before, and she wondered why Caitlin seemed ashamed to be at the pantry. Molly wanted to go home too, but she was hungry. You okay? Her mom asked. Why don't you draw me a picture? I love your drawings. The woman in front of them turned, smiled, and said, An artist? Will you draw me one too? Soon, more and more people asked for a picture. Molly thought maybe her happy pictures would help cheer people up. She ran to Caitlin with paper and crayons and said, Help! Everybody wants pictures and I can't draw that fast. Okay, said Caitlin. Soon, someone opened the doors to the pantry. Molly and Caitlin each handed them one of their drawings. Thank you, how beautiful, she said. Welcome, please sign in, said a man at the desk. Mom didn't have to sign her name when they went to the grocery store, Molly thought. But the man smiled at them and said, Thanks, grab a cart and stop here when you're done. There's lots of good food today. Thank you, Mom said. She smiled, but just a little, not like when we played at the park. The food pantry was like the little corner store where they sometimes bought bread and milk. Cans and boxes were on plain metal shelves. Molly ran toward a shelf and picked up a box of sugar cookies. No, Mom said. And then she whispered, the people in charge, they'll want us to take sensible stuff. Mom's face turned pink. Molly's eyes got wide. Why did her mom think that? Why were cookies here if you weren't supposed to take them? The person working at the door and the man at the desk seemed nice. Would they really not want Molly and her mom to have cookies? Molly swallowed tears. She put the cookies back. They would have been good with fancy milk, she thought. Help me put food in the cart, Mom sighed. Just like Caitlin, Mom looked like she wanted to be invisible too. Everybody needs help sometimes, Molly whispered to her mom. Remember? Mom smiled. You're right. Molly pointed to a sign that said, Please only take one on a huge bin of fruit. What if someone wants 2 cantaloupes? A lot of people need help, Mom said. They have to make sure they have enough food for everybody who comes here. Molly and Mom put oranges and cantaloupe in their cart. Cans of corn, tomatoes, cling peaches, bags of red beans, pintos, and brown rice. They checked out at the front desk. The nice man pointed to the wall. Oh, her mother reached for a box of powdered milk. We'll have fancy milk tonight. Molly ran to Caitlin and said, "Come here, look." There were their drawings of nature with rainbows and all the animals and all the things each animal needed to live in their habitats right up on the wall at the front. "I was in a sad mood," said the man. "Your artwork cheered me up, and it's giving everyone smiles in line." He put their groceries into bags. Then he handed Molly's mom a box of sugar cookies. "Saw your little one looking at these. She can have them if it's okay with you." Mom had a funny look, almost like she wanted to cry. She nodded, "Thank you." "Everybody deserves a treat," he said. "Enjoy." Molly and Mom walked home, each carrying a bulging bag. "Molly!" She turned around and saw Caitlin. "I didn't know you lived so close," Molly's mom said to Caitlin's grandma. "How nice, we're neighbors." "I keep looking for work, but they closed the factory," Mom said. "I've been sick," said Caitlin's grandma. "We got lots of yummy food, did you?" Molly asked. "Yeah," Caitlin shrugged. "I just wish we didn't have to go to the food pantry." "But everybody needs help sometimes. And we helped people today too. We cheered people up with our artwork." Caitlin grinned. "We did, didn't we?" "I have an idea. Let's have lunch together. And we have dessert. The man at the pantry gave us sugar cookies and there's enough for everybody. Let's eat." And they did. So what if you knew for certain that you were really connected to everyone, really to everyone? How would you show up differently in the world? The Seventh Unitarian Universalist principle reads, "We, the member congregations, covenant to affirm and promote the respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are all a part." Interdependence is everywhere. Whether we realize it or not, we need each other. Even in the smallest moments from the youngest among us, the tiniest act can generate a positive ripple effect. A smile, opening the door for someone, helping carry a bag, listening, making artwork for people waiting in line at the food pantry, accepting help. Let us remember that while we are all in this life together, our lived experiences may be very different, and sometimes it's just enough to know that you're not alone. As we embody gratitude, may our hearts and minds open to embrace one another unconditionally. Good morning.
We are now going to sing "We Give Thanks." Let's hear some joyful voices. Just repeat what I sing. I think you'll catch on very easily. Oh, we give thanks for the precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. We give thanks for this precious day. Let's hear it. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for the food we share, for the time we care. Oh, we give thanks for that precious day.
Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays because it's so simple. There's no complex theology like Easter. It hasn't been commercialized like Christmas. There's no political one-upsmanship like Veterans Day. It doesn't celebrate any fallible people like President's Day. It doesn't have a name. Some of us changed and others of us haven't, like The one I can't say, you know which one I mean, it's in October. Thanksgiving is just Thanksgiving. It's a day to give thanks. I know that it's often tied to a problematic history, but that history wasn't originally aligned with this holiday at all. That came later. The first time Americans put aside a day of Thanksgiving was in 1789. Who can tell me who the president was? Thank you. George Washington was the first to declare a day of Thanksgiving for the whole nation. And he did it because something very important happened in 1787, and he thought it would be good to recognize that accomplishment. Who can tell me what happened in 1787? What happened in 1787 in this country? We're going to have more history-based sermons, that's all I'm saying. The Constitution of the United States was written in 1787, and George Washington thought we should all stop and be grateful for that. The president usually gives credit. The president we usually give credit to for Thanksgiving is not actually George Washington, though. It's Abraham Lincoln. Our country was at war. War is always very ugly. It's even uglier when you're fighting your own people. And after a battle the United States won at Gettysburg, Lincoln thought we all needed a break and called for a national holiday for rest and Thanksgiving. He declared it an annual holiday. He declared it for the last Thursday. FDR actually changed it to the fourth Thursday, hoping to extend the Christmas shopping season just a little bit. So Abraham Lincoln often gets credit, but it's actually a woman who started. She was named Sarah Josepha Hale, and she relentlessly campaigned for Thanksgiving Day. She thought it was necessary for a country to just pause every year. She did a lot of great things. She was a single mother long before that term was coined. She wrote anti-slavery books. She raised money for important causes of her day. She wrote Mary Had a Little Lamb. And so that we remember the impact of our own faith, she was Unitarian. So in fact, not only was she Unitarian and Unitarian was central, I learned that from the Washington Post. They did a whole thing on her. So that was the year 1863. Who can tell me how many years we've been celebrating Thanksgiving as a country? My son right now is like, I can't believe she's asking us to do math right now. 1863, how many years? Can anyone tell me? I used a calculator. So, anyone want to count it? 159. We like to think that everyone gathers around a table with a lot of family, but there are really a lot of ways to celebrate Thanksgiving. Some people have very large families and they cook for days and eat for hours. Some people have small families. Sometimes the people that we love are far away and we can't see them for all kinds of reasons. And sometimes we're closer to people who aren't family, or there are really people like friends or people in our church we would rather celebrate with. Some people don't like to cook, and some people really like to eat out. Some people eat turkey, and some people are vegetarian. Some people spend the day at the parade, and they don't really think much about the food. Some people spend the day watching football. There are lots of ways to celebrate. And it doesn't really matter what we do or who we do it with. The point is that we pause every year to remember to be grateful. We're grateful that we have enough food to eat. We're grateful we have people who love us. It's very, very simple, and that's what makes it one of my favorite days. So this Thanksgiving, I'd like to offer some of you a chance to come up and tell us why you're grateful. There are a few people who might be prepared, but what I'm going to do, and for those of you who are wondering, yes, I'm inviting chaos. Just settle in. I am inviting people to come forward and tell us why you're grateful. Do I have someone who'd like to go first? Thorne's coming up. Now we're just looking for a few words, a few sentences. Go ahead, you're up.
Yeah, okay. Good afternoon, everybody. So usually around this time of year, when people ask me what I'm grateful for, it was, back when I was younger, I would say it was just like objects, you know, like my headphones or a new pair of sneakers I got. But, you know, now that I'm older, I'd like to think that my appreciation for things has matured. So today, this year, I'd like to say that I'm grateful for the fact that I'm old enough to vote. The fact that my life is the way it is, just in general. I'm just grateful to even be alive. Also, I'm just also grateful for the friends and family that have supported me throughout my years of living up until this point. And I know they'll continue to do the same thing. But yeah, that's basically what I'm grateful for.
I'm thankful for my dog, Jack.
Excellent.
I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful that I'm getting a pet someday, this year or in the beginning of next year. And I'm grateful for my friends and family that made a huge impact on me. If without them, I probably would just not be here at all, be sitting in my room doing nothing at all. Yes, okay.
Who else would like to come forward?
I'm grateful that me and my family have enough money to celebrate these kind of holidays every year, and that we get to go places and have fun by still being home and still being comfortable and having a comfortable life.
Thank you. Sandy, do you need me to move this table? Can you navigate, or we can move this? You know what? Here you go.
I'm walking. Where do you want me?
You're
Here.
good, right there.
I got it.
Where you can hold on. Yeah.
Everyone let go of me. Hi.
Hello.
August 15th, 3 months ago, I went kaboom down on the floor. It was not a good kaboom like we have fun sometimes and play. It was a mean kaboom because a precious part of me at the bottom of my head back here cracked in 2 pieces. And I didn't have that important bone working that could turn my head easily, that could make me feel good all the time. And you know what? they took a picture of me back there, and they said, "We can make you better. We can make you better." I was lying on the floor. They took me away to a hospital, and they took a picture and said, "We can make you better." And I thought, yeah. And then another doctor said it, and then another one, and another one. So, in a couple of weeks, 2 doctors, not one, 2, are going to go look at that bone in the back of my neck when I lie down, and they're going to do something and make those 2 bones come together. Let's celebrate. My thanks in advance.
Watch the cable. Watch your foot's caught. Your foot's caught. Your foot's caught. Careful.
Who's next?
I shouldn't say this, it's not very flattering, but for the first time my brother invited me to Thanksgiving instead of me saying, "Hey, what are we doing for Thanksgiving?"
I'm thankful for my family and friends who have supported me throughout my entire life.
I'm really grateful to see such a big group here today. This is really wonderful. It's really been great to be with all of you.
I am grateful for a lot of things about this church. The thing that I'm most grateful for is how beautifully our Board of Trustees handled a super difficult problem, and with love and with open hearts, and today we are moving forward. Very grateful.
Hello, I just wanted to say that at a crossroads in my life when my last church closed, I'm really happy that I found this church and all its wonderful people, and your welcoming attitude and spirit has really warmed my heart and made me very grateful.
It's been a pretty tough year for me for several different reasons, and I'm thankful I've gotten this far, and I'm thankful to be here with friends.
I'll just say it has been a very tumultuous year for me, and the consistency of coming and seeing you all and knowing that what we do makes an impact is a beautiful thing. We don't take it for granted, the fact that we get to share our gifts with you. So just having that opportunity every Sunday has been a blessing, and I'm very thankful for that.
It's a tradition in this church to share cornbread and cider to recognize the holiday. Corn, flour, and apples are all native to this country. Eating this food, we remember the gifts of the earth, the abundant life given to us on this magnificent and generous planet. So what we're going to do, we have some helpers. People are going to pass around cornbread and cider, and I'm going to ask you not to eat or drink it. So just hold on to it. Now, can we have, who's passing out here? So as we hold in our hands, we hold here the gifts of our planet. We hold here the fruit of this earth. We're holding here the generosity of so many people. We think of the farmers. We think of those who harvested. We think of those who collected, who prepared, who delivered. We think of those who baked and who pressed. We think of even the paper and the trees that offered it to us. We hold in our hands an ancient tradition of cornbread and cider. We hold in our hands a very modern tradition of cornbread and cider. And while we are aware and while we ground ourselves in all of those who've gone before us, let us also be grateful for all of those who come after us, for all of those we will nurture, for all of those people that we love forward. Let's together eat our cornbread and drink our cider in gratitude for all that we have and for each other. Jill made the cornbread and it's yummy. And together, we're going to sing Over the River and Through the Woods, also written by a Unitarian. Okay. We need one more minute, it seems. The word should be in your program. You should all have the words.
It sings the toes and bites the nose.
little closer.
Life at Community Church is busy, whether we are online or in person. It is our hope that wherever you are and whatever way you are comfortable engaging in the mission and ministry of this church, we have provided opportunities for you.
On Christmas Eve, we will have a simple candle lighting service with a whole lot of singing on 35th Street. Stay tuned for more information.
We are a 7-day church and have programs running every day of the week. You can find more information in the program and on our website.
Our ushers are going to pass a plate for our collection. If you are new here, please let the plate go by with no pressure to give. We are glad for your presence. All gifts offered are accepted in gratitude.
Together we're going to extinguish our chalice. It's in your program, so let's say these words together. Knowing how quickly the flame of truth may be extinguished, how easily the chalice of fellowship broken, let us be vigilant in faith, keep peace in our hearts, and make care for one another the watchword of our lives together. So our light goes out everywhere into the world. Our light goes out everywhere into the world where healing and hope are needed. Let us go to love and serve the world and one another. It's good to be with you all.